This is God-fearing people. This is a community I wanted to establish for people that overcame a lot of negative things in their life and they still alive, you know? This is what this is for. This is not church, you know what I'm saying? I did join the church though, but this is for people that's trying to better their lives. It's a positive community where it's each one teach one, and we uplift each other in this community. You know, I'm new to YouTube Live, but like I said, this is the God fearing community. This is not church or anything else like that. This is a community where we share things, we do light work, and we uplift each other. We help each other with anything if it's possible. You know, but the main thing is growth. You know, we want to grow when we in life. You know, we want to do better for ourselves. You can't see number one, but number one is growth. You know, number two is purpose, meaning that you're moving with a purpose. You're thinking about your purpose in life. What are you here for? And number three is awareness. You know, being aware of certain things. You know, knowing your surroundings. You understand? And number four is alignment. You understand what I'm saying? We trying to stay with God and deliver the messages. You know, we following God. We staying in God's path. You know, number five is discernment. You know, knowing good and evil, the difference. You know, pleasing God again. And number five, what we try to give people is clarity. You know, clarity. That's what we want. We don't want chaos and confusion no more in our life, you know? We don't want no chaos and confusion, you know? So it's a community built that we all stick together. You know, I want this to be all over, you know, all over the world, you know? God-fearing communities, people that believe in God, which I once did, but, you know, I'm a God-fearing man now, you know? That's what it is. Like I said, this is not church, you know. Went through a lot of dark times. Like I said, spiritual community for people that overcame darkness. You understand? How you doing? This is a God-fearing community. This is not church, you know. This is not church at all. This is a God-fearing community. As you see, this is for people that overcame darkness and still alive. This is what this is for. This is not church, you know. I've been struggling all my life, but God is just leading me to do something different. You know, this ain't church. You know, I've been in gangs, I've been in jail, I've been in everything. You know what I'm saying? But right now, spiritually, I'm doing wonderful for myself. It's a such thing, right? I'm gonna tell y'all, right? It's a such thing as spiritual intelligence. You know, like I'm street smart. I've been in gangs and all that. I just not gang banging anymore. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm book smart. I went to college later in life, you know. I got my bachelor's degree. I got my associate's degree. I got my bachelor's. But it's a such thing as spiritual intelligence. You know, you're not crazy. You know, certain things. A lot of this stuff is spiritual. A lot of the symbols that you see, like on the money, in the schools, certain symbols that been around before I was born, before you was born. You know, like I said, this is a God-fearing people, a spiritual community for people that overcame darkness. The cards that I'm using now, the main thing, the number one thing is growth. You want to grow in life. You don't want to be living in a box. The second one is purpose. You understand? Meaning I move with a purpose. You know, I move with a purpose. If it ain't important, I'm being still. You know, the third one is awareness. You want to know your surroundings at all time. You understand? You want to know your surroundings, and alignment is the fourth one. Discernment is the fifth one, and clarity. Instead of playing with the hatred card and the manipulation card, the deceiving people card, the confusion and chaos, we ain't doing that. It's a God fearing community. We're trying to better ourselves and get knowledge. This is a God fearing community. How y'all doing? My name is Preem. I'm out of New York City. I've been in the darkness all my life. I went to jail. This is not church. This is not church, but I decided to start a community. Because a lot of people have knowledge. Okay, you book smart, you're street smart, but do you have spiritual intelligence? Like I said, everybody's voice is heard. Y'all can subscribe to my channel. This is new. This is just an introduction. But like I said, this is a God-fearing community. This is not church. A spiritual community for people that overcame darkness, that suffered through life. We don't judge each other. We just trying to uplift each other. You know, I'm a God-fearing man now. You know, tired of being in the darkness and stuff like that. You know, so I'm trying to better myself, have a community that we each one teach when we share thoughts, stories. Just tired of living in the dark. And I feel good. I overcame a lot of things in life. I went through everything, you name it. Just never been shot. Never got hit by a car. You understand? So feel free to join the community. It's free. Like I said, you could join it. This is not church. You can speak your mind. But that's it. I'm gonna keep it simple and short today.